prison situation, we said, you got to get, 10, 15 minutes outside.
Yep.
So.
Get some yard time.
Yeah, yard time. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'll call to order the meeting of the New Ulm Public Utilities for the month of February 2021. First item on the agenda is to receive public notice that we'll conduct the meeting by teleconference. All the commissioners are present today, so we are not going to conduct the meeting by teleconference. The next item is to review and consider approval of the minutes from the January meeting.
President Heine, Commissioners, there is one change on the minutes. It's under letter K. It needs to be changed to Seth Vesser made a motion to approve reducing the 9 members to 5 members on the Energy Awareness Commission. So if you just want to add that into your motion, it was missed.
So the motion would be to approve the minutes as amended at letter K.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make the motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held January 26th, 2021 with the adjustment to item K that Seth Visser made a motion to approve reducing the 9 members to 5 members of the Energy Awareness Commission.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Sign. Motion carries. Okay, next is to receive our monthly utility operations report from Director Manderfeld.
I don't really have anything to highlight specifically on this report. I am here to answer any questions, so if you do have anything specific.
So the most unique event this month would be the natural gas billing, which we'll talk about later and isn't part of
Yes,
this.
there's a separate agenda item for that we can discuss.
I'll offer the motion to receive and order filed the report regarding the monthly utility operations.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Sign. Motion carries. Next, we want to recognize Ryan Hoffman, Construction Chief, as our Employee of the Month.
Yes, Ryan is a construction chief in the gas department. He's been employed since December of 2010. He's being recognized for his continued effort to make the gas department a more efficient operation. He looks for ways to get things done in a timely manner and still follows department procedures. His leadership in daily activities makes the department a better place to work for everyone. Ryan recently was part of a crew that was sent to Owatonna to assist with a gas main project, and on completion of the project, the operations manager in Owatonna had nothing but good things to say about the project and also New Ulm's crew. So congratulations to Ryan Huffman.
I'll make the motion to recognize Ryan Hoffman, Construction Chief in the Gas Department, as Employee of the Month for January 2021.
Second. Any discussion of the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, and that motion carries. Next is our discussion to update us on the natural gas pricing. And for those who didn't participate, we did just have a very helpful work session already as a commissioner, but go ahead and give us.
Okay, yeah, I just have a synopsis of what has happened in the natural gas and electric commodity markets during the last 10 days. There's been historic cold weather and a series of winter storms that have impacted the Midwest and the Texas area of the United States. The cold weather has driven up demand in the lower 48 states in both natural gas for heating as well as natural gas for electric generation. There's been many natural gas wells and pipelines that have encountered freezes, as well as some wind turbines and power plant freezes. As a result, supply and demand kicked in, and the prices for electricity and natural gas purchased on the wholesale market skyrocketed. Millions of people were without power. They were suffering rolling outages, which were mandated to protect the electric grid. These outages were encountered as far north as the southern part of Minnesota. generator and heating customers were both competing for natural gas. Prior to the polar vortex, natural gas prices were extremely moderate for the winter. We had market price for gas at the beginning of the month at about $2.60 an MCF. These prices were pushed upwards of $188 at one point. These prices were not unique to New Ulm, as the Midwest natural gas companies are getting their gas supply from the same pipelines, and they're all seeing the same pricing. While the New Ulm Public Utilities has hedging strategies and reserves in place, these are used to insulate our customers from the volatility of the market. The prices and demand that we have seen in the last few days and the extreme cold that went along with the price increases, it still affected the New Ulm Public Utilities. While the New Ulm Public Utilities cannot control the natural gas market, we did try to focus on what we could control, and we communicated with our customers ways in which they could conserve energy. We sent out articles and notices through a variety of avenues: social media, newsprint, radio, TV, as well as calling some of our large industrial users. This is a catastrophic financial blow to utilities that are dependent on the commodities market for their basic necessities as heat and electricity, and it will have an impact on our customers. The utility has spent its entire fuel budget in the past few days, with 10 months remaining, with 10 months of the year remaining. We have been in touch with our state and national organizations, and they have been in contact with the Department of Commerce, Department of Energy, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, the Governor of Minnesota, as well as the President of the United States. The utility will continue to work with these organizations to help develop policies and also to identify the effect this crisis will have on our customers. Special meetings will be called when we have additional information to share. And as President Heine indicated, there was a working session that was held at 3 p.m. today. Customers can still view that on YouTube if they want some more additional information, or just to watch the work session. It should still be there. So,
Thank you, and thank you again for all you're doing to try and keep us ahead of this.
I'll make the motion to receive and order file the update on natural gas prices and the polar vortex affecting New Ulm Public Utilities customers.
Second.
Any discussion of the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, next we're into new business, and we have some carryovers to consider for the budget.
Yes, President Heine and Commissioners, we are asking you to approve the year-end budget carryovers for the year-end ended December 31st, 2020. Upon closing the books for 2020, there are several line items that were included within the 2020 budget, but due to various reasons were not expended in 2020. And they are all listed there on your action form. Primarily, these are open purchase orders from the end of the year that were not yet complete. So that is, we're asking to carry over those budget dollars to complete those POs in 2021.
I'll make the motion to approve the year-end budget carryovers for the year ended December 31st, 2020.
I'll second.
Any discussion of the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have a request to, what are we? Memorandum of Understanding regarding intersection lighting. Hello.
All right. Thank you, Madam President, Commissioners. Joseph Sad, I'm City Engineer for the City of New Ulm. As part of the 2021 construction projects this year, the Minnesota Department of Transportation will be replacing their traffic signal at 16th North and Broadway. In conjunction with that project, they will be installing intersection lighting at the intersections of Trunk Highway 15 and Shag Road and the DNR entrance south of town. As part of that intersection lighting agreement between the city and the state of Minnesota, the DNR is requesting a memo of understanding for future maintenance of that system. The lighting at the DNR entrance was being requested by the DNR headquarters staff, and as part of that memo of understanding, it is stated that the city will perform the maintenance on that system. Being that the city doesn't have the personnel nor the equipment to do so, I'm coming to you today to ask for that direction from the Public Utilities Commission. The state DNR will reimburse the city, PUC, the actual build cost for the materials and equipment and labor time needed for any maintenance for that lighting system. So it's really just kind of a pass-through account to use the PUC forces for this work. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Thank you. Anybody has any questions?
I can make the motion to approve the memorandum of understanding MOU between Minnesota Department of Natural Resources, the DNR, and the City of New Ulm for intersection lighting at Trunk Highway 15 and Shag Road and DNR entrance, and authorize the city manager to execute the MOU.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
One more item I should note, Madam President, Commissioners, is that assuming approval tonight, this will go to the City Council for full authorization at the next City Council meeting as well.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion in light of his comment? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Next, we have a contract revision from Western Area Power Administration. Dan?
Good afternoon. Yeah, this started out actually about 2 years ago. We were looking to backup feed the area around, say, Walmart, Aldi, DLCs up there and all that. We currently have a single feeder going up there. And Larry, our electric supervisor, wanted to put a backup in there, but that's all in the WAPA area. And under our current contract, we have to have a metering cabinet and all this stuff to do it, so to track what's going on there. Well, I contacted WAPA, and they've informed us they're trying to get away from doing that. They're now allowing us to fix our contract amount, our allocation, and we get to select the year for the usage and stuff that we get to fix it with. So this saves us quite a bit of money in hardware, because buying the cabinet and all that was gonna be over $50,000 we had figured. And administration, you know, we don't have to track all this. Another point of failure is having a meter and all that other things. So it's kind of a win-win-win for everybody, and just makes life a little bit easier for billing. And this is a very small portion of our energy that we have. I'll try to answer any questions, but it's kind of a little bit of an odd deal too, where they're allowing you to fix your load, but
Can you just explain what that means? Just fix
it'll
your
be a
load
set amount, you know, forever. Because,
for a certain amount of energy to that
right,
area.
because for us to ever gain any more in the WAPA area, somebody else will have to give up their WAPA allocation. And generally, most of it is in SPP, actually, it's not in our current area. It's the cheapest energy anybody typically has over there. So nobody ever gives it up. So when they fix it, we're basically, what we have is what all we're ever going to get. It'd be real rare for someone to give up a load or their WAPA allocation.
Okay.
I'll offer the motion to authorize the city manager to accept the contract revision from Western Area Power Administration, WAPA, to fix the energy and demand deliveries to New Ulm using the May 2015 to April 2016 loading period chosen by New Ulm Public Utilities.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion carries. Dan, you're still there for the next one too?
Yeah.
The SCADA Communications Review Project?
Yeah, this is another project we kind of have recently come to in a unique method. With our MISO metering for generation, they have now required us to add a Inter-Control Center Communications Protocol, or ICCP. Well, in amongst to doing that, they bring in 2 new fibers into our SCADA room, which is in our old part of our power plant, which is a repurposed closet, for lack of a better term, that has been put together over the many years kind of haphazardly. So as we started looking into what we had to do, Dave Keene, our power plant chief, and Nate wanted to kind of clean it up. So we started cleaning it up and looking at things, and then they started looking at some of the hardware, and like, well, we were putting all these nice server racks in and all this. Nobody's looking at certain SCADA hardware that's 25 years old, and none of us have the expertise to have a knowledgeable opinion on it. So we really needed to get somebody in here that knows what they're talking about and speaks SCADA, for lack of a better term, because a lot of this will be relay controls going over fiber optic, coming back into ACS's system. So it's pretty complicated and pretty convoluted. And part of the benefit of what they're going to do with this, cleaning this up, is we'll now have drawings and record of what's going on in there. Because one of the first things when we started looking at doing this little project is our electrician went in there and manually started tracing everything, trying to figure out where everything is actually going that's in the room. It's kind of a little bit of cleaning up many projects over many years, because I hate to know how many different lives that little room has had down there before it became our SCADA control room. So if anybody's got any questions, I'll try to answer.
My only question is on the timing. Has the work already started?
Well, we went out and asked for them to do a site visit, you know, and one of their guys came working on another project with us, did a site visit and an assessment, and then one of his colleagues came over and looked at it.
Okay.
So we've got several projects going on. If you remember, I think last month we came and talked to you about doing the North Substation relay upgrades. Well, when he was here looking at it, he recommended we go ahead and start digging into this and having his colleague, Jim Weicker, come and look at it, because he's kind of an expert in this kind of communications.
Yeah, so just in the documentation, it just says that the work started on would start on February 18th.
Yep.
And we'd be done by Friday. So I'm just wondering if we're approving something that's already been
He's coming
done.
together, now right now they're putting together some recommendations and stuff. If we have to, we can cut part of it and pay it out of another as a maintenance account. But then we wouldn't get the documentation and stuff. This is just really a deal where we're cleaning up a lot of good things will come out of this, which is really hard to quantify. But yes, you're right. They have done some of the work now. Jim's doing some research now on what we actually need. Because one of the things is called an IMUX. They don't even make it anymore, but it's a very reliable piece of hardware. But they're also trying to research if something better for our application would come from Schweitzer to deal with our SCL relays.
Yeah, so I guess, Dan, where I'm going is, have we authorized this, and has the city manager already signed something that we are now being told to
Nope.
vote on?
We improved it administratively to keep us on schedule. Because if you read in here, we also could lose the termination guy for doing fiber optics. They're pretty much after April 1st, they're back working for Comcast and doing
Okay.
external.
And as the city, we're allowed to do that? Just confirming. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, then I will authorize the city manager to accept the proposal from Power Systems Engineering Incorporated to review and make recommendations for the Electrics Department's SCADA communications in the amount of $6,000.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion carries. Where are we? Transmission pole project. Dan again.
And the next two action items are actually tied together. One would be the engineering. The first one I'll talk about. The second one will actually be the work that is to be done. During the reconstruction of our transmission line, we have found 3 spans that were, the conductor was the wrong size. Up there, one of them was going from our switch pole at our GOAB, so we'd It's right behind the wash plant. Two of the three terminals leaving there are 556, and one of them, the one that is a radial feed to our power plant, we discovered when they started working on it, is actually 386. And just for uniformity, and there's less line losses, and to have the whole system be the same size has a lot of benefits. And this is just, again, cleaning up where two old projects met. Nobody had documented what was going on at the point where they met. And this was where both these spans, the other span we're talking about, two spans is right behind, kind of by the elevator down here, where it takes that 90. There's two spans between those two 90 poles that are, again, 386. If we eliminate those two spans, the whole system will be 556. And remember, this is where our power plant is generating into this cable and goes out to the Fort Ridgely substation. And if we'll remember, the poles that we're replacing right now are poles that we, at one time I believed was built in the 60s, but the contractors out there said that more of this wishbone construction was built in the 50s. So this is basically line that we're replacing that's, could be as old as 75 years old. So again, it's cleaning up missed documentation from the past. And if you do the math for the total project cost, it comes out at about 4.5% of an overrun.
These change orders are about 4.5%.
Yeah, to the total project, if you add the engineering and the project cost, comes in at 1.3 million, and this takes it just to 1.35. So it's a incremental cost. But yes, it's $50,000 total.
And they didn't catch it when they bid the job because these weren't documented.
It wasn't documented, and to tell the difference, really, you have to get up there and actually
Yeah.
look at it. It's pretty, and on the ground and doing a ground assessment, I know I can't tell the difference with my eyes.
I'll make a motion to authorize the city manager to accept the change order from Power Systems Engineering Incorporated for additional engineering efforts for the transmission pole replacement project in the amount of $13,050.
I'll second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then did you need an additional presentation for the next one, or
I
was
was
that
kind of hoping we could say
same
the
thing?
Hooper is just the construction part of it. This is the actual
Yeah.
physical construction, the
Well,
wire.
When you said the 4.5%, were you combining the 13 and the 41?
Yes.
Yeah.
The 13 is actually like 11 or 12%, so we needed to come due for that one. So just for clarity, for the total project cost, it's about, I think, 4.3% when I did it last week.
Sure.
Well, then, I'll make a motion to authorize the city manager to accept the change order from Hooper Corporation for labor and materials for the transmission pole replacement project in the amount of $41,295.51.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is to discuss our district steam rebate application, and looks like Derek's coming.
All right, good evening. So as part of our STEAM revitalization program, we recently reviewed the rebate for the district energy STEAM customers and came to a conclusion that this needed to be updated to help promote the repair and modernization of the heating system in the downtown area and the other industrial customers. We're hoping this update that we can get approved. What we added to it was to bring this rebate up to par with a lot of the other rebates that we offer, which is having them at least, for the most part, rebate up to 50% of what the person is installing or purchasing. And what we'd like to do with that, like I said, is to have it rebated up to 50%, but cap that at a $7,500 limit. These improvements would include much of what was rebated before, was such as steam traps, trap parts, valves, steam pipe installation, zoning controls, duct work if they decide to go that route, This rebate would work in conjunction with the STEAM audits that we completed, what would be now last winter. And we've done some this year also in the district energy system. What we changed and what was in the previous rebate was up to, it was up to 30%. So it started at 25%, but there was a possibility of a 30% rebate. But the old rebate based everything off of the STEAM customers' prior year's expenses. So what we found was they really didn't get much of a rebate. So they could do a large amount of work, but if their billing was low from the prior year, it didn't have any justification for them to even apply for a rebate. So we're hoping that this rebate we can advertise to our STEAM customers, especially the ones that were willing to do the STEAM audits we did 2 years ago, to give them more of an incentive to get stuff fixed and apply for a rebate.
Do you think there's a lot of STEAM customers that would repair and upgrade their equipment?
There's a lot that need to. I think once we start advertising that we're paying 50% up to, or sorry, $7,500, I might have said $7,600, $7,500, that's, so essentially if they're getting $15,000 worth of work, we're paying half of that. So I think there's some people that would be willing to take advantage of this now.
I'll make the motion to approve changes to the district energy rebate application.
I'll second.
Thanks.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Same sign. Motion carries. Next is to consider purchasing wait, are we at the tractor? Yes, biosolids tractor.
Yes, President Heine, Commissioners. The wastewater supervisor was unable to attend tonight, so I just want to offer up to accept the quote from Miller-Selner Implement for a Case Magnum 245 tractor. This is in the amount of $147,000. This is the second component. I believe at the last meeting, you approved the spreader. And this is the tractor that goes along with it. They had, I believe, $200,000 budgeted. The total between the two is about $203,000, so it's very close to budget. And there was several bids that were gotten as well, so.
Okay.
So, Chris, the only question I have is I struggle to understand the trade-in value versus what we're purchasing. Like, what's the net? Is the net 147? Or
The net is 147, yes.
so that's after our trade-in.
That's after our trade-in, and that's after the discount that was received
Okay.
from the dealer. Yep. So the final price is 147.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I will authorize wastewater staff to accept the quote. Or, pardon me, I'll offer the motion to authorize wastewater staff to accept the quote from Miller-Selner Implement Incorporated for a Case IH Magnum 245 tractor in the amount of $147,000.
I'll second.
Any discussion of the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then the gas department wants to surplus a snowblower and, IT also has some surplus.
Yeah, this is just some housekeeping. We have a snowblower from the gas department and a Cisco 28 router from IT. The approximate value of the snowblower is about $100. This item is going to be sold through the GovDeals auction site, and then the router was used as a trade-in for replacement equipment, and it would be destroyed as part of the trade-up agreement with the vendor.
I'll offer the motion to declare obsolete Snowblower in the gas department and network router in the IT department as surplus property and authorize disposition pursuant to the requirements of the city code and charter.
Second.
Any discussion of the motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then finally, we have our claims and estimates for the month.
I'll offer the motion to consider acceptance of the list of claims paid in the amount of $3,188,360.33.
I'll second.
Any discussion of that motion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And unless we have any other comments? No? We're adjourned.